day-to-day life, man, like you're going to have these obstacles. Just strap them up and get back at it. Strap them up and go back at it. Will is our internal power, okay, which can never be affected by the outside world, no matter how loud that world is. It is our final trump card. And I love that right there. It's your final trump card. I'm sure you've all been faced, and I'll just relate it to this. Okay? I played basketball before, right? A game of 21 with the boys. There's moments where buddies at 19, you got tipped back down to 0, but your will's telling you, we're about to win this game. We're going to win this game. I don't care if he has 19, if he has 17, he has 15 already. I'm back at 0. My will is telling me, like, yeah, it's about to hurt because you're about to have to play for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're about to have to get the tips, all hustle plays, all like when I get the ball, it's like, hey, how many can I score before I let them get the ball again?
Yeah.
You know, if you know, Midwest rules, you know what I'm saying? That's how it goes.
Right.
How many can I score before he gets the ball again? How can I close this gap? Can I tip him back down to 0?
Yeah.
Your will, and that's when you realize you just create a monster of a game, because you notice the level of everybody else around you starts to level up.
Yeah.
Because you're starting to bring a whole nother level of energy. Like, nah, I'm really not trying to lose.
Facts.
And that's the best way I can relate that will, because it's been moments in life, and just reflect to a moment in your life where you had to bring that will out of you.
Yeah.
And that's because there was nothing else left. You were already tired. You were already down. But something in you said, this ain't over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said, you got to bring that will out of you. We must learn the art of acquiescence and practice cheerfulness even in dark times. Too often people think that will is how bad we want something. In actuality, the will has a lot more to do with surrender than with strength. Try God willing over the will to win, or willing it to existence. Or even those attributes can be broken. True will is quiet, humility, resilience, and flexibility. The other kind of will is weakness disguised by bluster, ambition, which lasts longer under the hardest of obstacles.
Yeah.
I love that he said God willing, because even Ron the Holiday knows it's a power bigger than all of us out here.
Yeah. No, man, I think that was huge, and that was one of the biggest things I took away from will. Was that quiet humility, because oftentimes you kind of get it mistaken as like, I rip my shirt off, things are bad, you know what I'm saying, like I'm about to win no matter what, you know what I'm saying, sort of attitude. But every example that you just listed, what you notice is that it was when you were backed into a corner and you had nothing left. And oftentimes in those moments you lock in. Oftentimes in those moments you lock in, you become quiet, you become resilient, like you said in the 21 analogy, not letting that person score, getting in their face. You know what I'm saying? You're not yelling to everybody, I'm about to stop you at 19. You're just proving it. You know what I'm saying? You're just proving it. You're doing the action. And that was one of the biggest things I took away from that, on top of the flexibility factor. You know what I'm saying? You become adaptable to the circumstances, in terms of wherever you're at. Like you said in the 21 analogy, you may be at 5 points, 7 points, 11 points, 13, 15. It doesn't matter. You just become flexible to what needs to be done, and then you do it. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, what that touches to me is persistence is an action. Perseverance is a matter of will. One is energy, the other endurance. They work in conjunction. You know what I'm saying? So you persistently putting in the action, and you're persevering. That's your will, and honestly, the funny part about it, and you've noticed, just like I've noticed from even reaching the 10 episodes mark, because that's current in our lives, the obstacles that aligned itself from episode 1 to episode 10, because in reality we did about 14 episodes.
Exactly.
But somebody trying to interrupt us, which people don't even have that snippet of the video of that, but that was the book we did previous to this episode 9. We had to redo 8 episodes later because that was supposed to be number 1. You know what I'm saying? But that episode was interrupted. Somebody mad, upset because of whatever reason, took it out on us by trying to disturb us. We didn't let that stop us. You know what I'm saying? And nor did we settle in and, just say, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe this studio isn't for us, or maybe this moment isn't for us, or maybe this one. In reality, how many people do that? You meet with the first sign of resistance and you give up. You
Man.
know what I'm saying? So ultimately, man, I think there are far more failures in life due to a collapse of will. To reach the 10 episode mark, it took a lot of will. This wasn't in our schedule. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't convenient for us to do in no way, shape, or form. Today's episode wasn't even necessarily convenient. You know what I'm saying? To schedules and timing and to everything that's going around. And we were gonna use a different backdrop for this one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that ultimately, um,
Yeah.
there are two viewpoints on winning and losing. And I want to touch this. Someone has more than you in terms of winning. Someone has accomplished more than you. There's always someone who has done more than you. When it comes to losing, there's always someone who has lost way more than you. As the example that you just mentioned previous to this with Demosthenes, you know what I'm saying?
Demosthenes.
In a sense of like, I've never had to go through that. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? I've never personally had
And
to
the
had
rocks in the
to
mouth.
right, you know what I'm saying, to try and get better at something, but we're in the same field of speaking though.
Buddy built a dugout.
You
Said,
know,
he, like I said, put himself in jail. Like, basically, it's
determination.
like, I don't want no one in today's day and age. That's just
Yeah.
turn off your doggone phone. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Turn off your phone for 24 hours. Like, I'm only
Man.
locking in.
Man.
You know what I'm
Man.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't express what that will do to you mentally, physically, spiritually.
Yeah.
To separate yourself from the world and only be in your world.
Right.
But this section had also told a story of Theodore Roosevelt. This section told a story of Theodore Roosevelt, who also was sickly and fragile as a boy, but as he would say with determination to his dad, I'll make my body, developing what the Stoics will call an inner citadel, that fortress inside of us that no external adversity can ever break down. At the gym that his father built him, he worked out every single day, preparing him for the uniquely challenging life that he would end up leading. Like, just another reminder, man. Like, he was a child with that mindset. You see, a lot of these people that he's pointing out go back to a time that predates the use of a lot of these things that distract us now. But I'm sure they had the distractions then that they could have let get to them. And you see, he also had his father. There's a lot of key things that you need in your life right there. But the most important thing was his will in the situation. He worked out every day, because he worked out of his sickness. He worked out of his fragile body and became what we know him as today in the history books.
Yeah.
But I'll say this too. In mastering these three principles, we have the tools to flip any obstacle upside down. Like Rockefeller, we can be cool under pressure, immune to insults and abuse. We learn how to see opportunity in the darkest places. We are able to direct our actions with energy and persistence. Like
Yeah. The
Demosthenes.
guy with the hard name.
Man, Demosthenes. You just gotta get used to saying it. Like Demosthenes, we can assume responsibility for ourselves, teaching ourselves, compensating for disadvantages, and pursuing our rightful calling and place in the world. And like Lincoln, we can realize that life is a trial and it will be easy, but we are prepared and can give it everything.